Hey everybody, welcome back. So now we're going to go through and we're going to start adding some details to what we have, just to kind of start bringing everything together a little bit more. And it will really start to let you see what the room is going to look like and let you kind of add your details more effectively. So to start off, let's get these doors and windows going. Now, this is not how doors work. Doors are inside the wall. So we have to make sure that we can put the door inside the wall. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. I mean, we can go into tab and edit mode and, do edge loops. You can do that and then go to scale and click to the right. And like, I mean, that works. That's definitely a way, but it's just, there's an easier way. And it's a pretty cool method that I think is very important for you to learn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just center this a little bit more. I'm going to take this cube right here and I'm going to scale it up. I'm literally just going to grab this face and we're going to cut right through this wall. Yeah. All right. Now, I'm not just going to leave it like that, obviously. What we're going to do is we're going to go over here. We're going to select this wall. We're going to go over to the wrench over here. This is your modifiers tab. You're probably right here most of the time. This is your modifiers tab. Go over here and click add modifier and click Boolean. What you're going to do is you're going to take this little eyedropper right here. You're going to bring it over and you're going to click on the object door. And now, if we take the object door and we hide it, you can see it punched a hole perfectly inside the wall for us. Now, the thing is, if I were to say delete it, it would go away, obviously. So the thing is, what we can do is we can either hide it and just kind of forget about it. Frankly, that's one way to do it, and that way you can always come back and change it if we decide we don't like the orientation. But this is a quick and dirty tutorial, and I just want to get us, moving along. So I'm going to keep the door there, and I'm actually going to go back to the modifiers tab, and up here next to the Boolean, there's a little drop down arrow next to the X. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to click apply. Now, even when I move this door, you see that the hole is still punched in the wall. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go S, Y, and I have no idea why this is not scaling. Okay, sorry about that probably jarring cut, but I did just discover something. If you come up here, you should make sure all three of these things are off, because I just could not scale my door for some reason for a minute. But I Googled it, and I found the answer in a few minutes, because it's actually really easy to find the answer to stuff for Blender Online, because it's a free program, and you have a lot of nice people. I'm going to hit S, I'm going to hit Y, and we are scaling this door in. Look at that. And because we're not actually going to do anything out here, I'm just going to move it to be flush. That's not what I wanted. Oh yeah, I turned this off. Turn it on, make sure Snap-in's on. Let's just get it lined up with the back right there. And that's pretty nice. That's it's a nice little looking door. And we're going to do the exact same thing with the bathroom door, except on the X scale. So scale it up, grab the wall, grab the Boolean modifier, eyedrop the door, apply it, come back, scale this bad boy in, and bring it back. It's okay if there's a little bit more of a dip for that one, but I kind of want there to be more of an inlet. It's just cool, little details like that. Just make a big difference. Like it's the stuff that people don't notice that's the coolest, frankly, that you just kind of subconsciously notice. So all right, cool. So then we got our doors coming in, and now they need handles. So just come over here. Now we can overcomplicate this if we want, make like a fancy handle, but you know what, for the sake of this, I just want to show you how easy it is to just make something decent that you can use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Shift A, Mesh, Circle. Boom. I am going to reduce the radius down to 0.2. Probably going to need to be even smaller, so let's go 0.1 and I'll still scale it. Hit R to rotate, hit X to rotate along the X axis, which is what we want. Let's make sure the angle is set to 90. Also, sorry, I realize my keyboard thing is in front. I'll move that so you can actually see. Yeah, it might be. Hopefully that works. Okay. Anywho, this is going to be kind of like the base that the handle sits on, so I'll do that. We're going to bring it out. I'm actually going to hit Tab because the circle comes unfilled, as you can see. But if you come in and you just hit A, so you select all the sides of the circle, and just hit F, there you go. Now you got to fill. And I'm actually just going to extrude it now, too, so it'll be easier. I'm going to click the circle face, hit E, bring it out just a little bit, and then GY, so we can connect it to the door. That's probably a little, remember to hit period on the numpad if things are a little sluggish because it's not focused on your object. I'm going to bring that in a little bit. Probably even going to shrink it a tiny bit. Cool. Now remember that inlay option we did earlier? Yeah, we're going to do that again. Just hit I when you have the face selected. Then just hit E. And there you go. You got a little bit of the doorknob handle started. And so what we're going to do now, when you might have noticed what I did here is I hit shift and right clicked, and that moves this little like red target thing around. And basically that just dictates where meshes will show up whenever you create them. So I just created a UV sphere. I went into, I'll show you it again. Just shift A, mesh, UV sphere. And I'm going to shrink this boy down a little bit. Hit period to get nice and close. Bring them up a little bit. S, X, so Y rather. So I'm just going to kind of like shrink it in a little bit. Cool, just like that. Let's make sure it's all lined up nice and pretty. Not totally. I'm just going to hold shift, and by looking at it like this, that should be just fine. Cool, I'm going to hit Y, bring it back on, and adjust a tiny bit. Sweet, look at that. We can maybe try shade smooth. Yeah, right click it, hit shade smooth, and it's shiny. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this and this, shift click to select both of them. You can also do it up here. I think they're in our furniture collection. Yeah, circle and sphere. I'm going to hit Control J. I'm going to hit doorknob. And nice. And for now, I'm just going to parent this to this, just in case we ever move the door on accident. I'm going to hit, first, I'm going to select the doorknob. Then I'm going to hold shift and select the door. And now I'm going to hit Control P and set parent to object. And now, if I move the door, it will move the doorknob too, just to keep it nice and clean. I also think it would be a good idea for us to put a little peephole here. You know, the thing that you, that sounded weird, but you know what I mean, like the thing that you look out. I know there's probably a name for it. Gotta be. I'm gonna do the same thing where I tab in, hit F to fill it in. I'm gonna do just the slightest of extrusions just to make it a little easier on me to work with. G, Y, hit that corner so we know it's flush against the door. Let's center it as much as we can, and we'll take another look after, but bring this down. Cool. Because it's so tiny, it's gonna, okay, got it. I'm gonna period in, and let's just do something funky with it. I'm gonna do that, like the I, so it comes in. I'm gonna hit E so it comes out a little bit. Then I'm gonna hit I again. We're gonna go back in a little bit, but maybe then hit S and just scale it down a tiny bit so it kind of makes like a little bit of a rounded thing. Yeah. Just little details. I like little details like that. Let's just parent this to this and move on. If, you know, later down the line, if we hate it, we'll change it. Oh, first let me give it a name though, just because we got to stay organized. We don't want to have a bunch of circles and cubes in our thing. What is this? I'm just calling it people. Just call it people. Laugh it up. All right. Oh, I shouldn't. I guess it doesn't really matter because it's the same door model, so we can probably just copy it. No, it doesn't. So it's not going to actually, if you just copy the door, it's not going to bring those in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, find the door, and you can actually find things in the searcher too by clicking it and then going over here and hitting period, and that'll bring it to you. And it seems that doors in structure, which does make sense actually. So we're going to live with that. What I have to do is hit this drop down arrow next to door. I'm going to hit copy, paste. I'm going to kind of move it along the y-axis, and I hit R, Z. That's going to move everything together. And if for some reason things are moving, and then remember to hit 90. If they're moving apart, just make sure you're up here. You click that and say median point, because if you have individual origins on, this will happen. And look at that. It's like going to spin around on its own. So you don't want that. Let's get this door out of our life. Just drag the door now, which is wonderful. X. Look at that. I got two doors. I mean, it is a little. Why are there people on the bathroom door though? That don't make no sense. Get it out of there. Sorry, guys. I'm not a pervert. Okay. Cool. the doorway's coming together, I want to put a little like key holder on the wall. I think that's like kind of nice. Maybe like even a little table on the side coming in. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna do that. Okay, get on in there with period on the numpad. Bring this boy out. It helps to just hit a corner if you need to snap it, and it's not really going to the wall nicely. Um, okay, we're gonna bring that in. Extrude out here. All right. Yeah, and we'll put some stuff on that. Gotta oh, is this off the wall? Fans. No, it's good. Set oh yeah, something I've not been doing a lot of. Apply scale, set origin to geometry. It's okay though. If I ever notice the problem, I know exactly what to do, so it won't be an issue. And you know exactly what to do now too. Okay, let's simplify this. I don't want to make this too hard on y'all. We're just gonna literally put a cylinder in. I'm gonna shrink it way down. I'm gonna rotate it along the y-axis, 90, GX, bring it out, oop, GX, bring it over here, GX. If the snapping's ever weird, just remember you can hit Control and it'll turn that off. GX, I'm gonna turn off snapping there, something like that. Bring it in a little more, GX. Cool. That kind of works. I mean, one thing I could do too is like, if we really want to get a little fancy with it, which we do, because if we're going this simple for a key holder, we can afford to get a little fancy. I'm gonna put a cube there. Come back to the cube. Go real tiny on the cube. Put it like right there. GZ. SX. Bring that bad boy in. GY. GZ. And I'm going to be dead honest with you guys. I mean, there are, yeah, what I'm going to do, by the way, I'll explain that first before I say my next thought. But I'm going to quickly Boolean this again. So it's like I'm just coming over here, Boolean modifier. I drop onto this little QB. Make sure it worked. It did. Can probably be a little bit thicker, and that's what's cool is you can kind of modify and see it change in real time. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Perfectly acceptable. You can hit apply and just delete that because we don't need it anymore. Yeah, yeah. And I will be honest with y'all. There are assets that you can get off the Unity store, and we're about to talk about that in probably the next lesson. But some of these little things, I think it's nice for you to just do on your own. Just get a little bit of a feel for it. You don't have to model everything when you first start, just to make sure you can actually pump out worlds. But it's fun and it's good to get good at because making assets can be really helpful when you just need something and it's just not cheap. Or if, you know, sell them too. All right, I'm going to do another modifier on this. So we're going to go to add modifier. This time we're going to use something called an array. An array modifier basically lets you like add copies of it in fixed distances. So what I'm going to do is down here on the factor, the relative offset, oh, I need to put, let's put 4 because I want 4. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to drag this along and you can see we have 4 perfectly spaced apart copies. I'm just kind of dial this in a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect really. Yeah, that feels about right. I wonder if I can, nah, okay, that's fine. We're not going to overthink it. We're having fun here today. And now I'm going to Control J, put the, oops, I forgot I have to apply this modifier. So now it's an actual thing. Control J, and look at that. It's combined. I'm going to call this key holder. Very good. I want to put a little table here too. So let's just do that while we're here. Little top of the table. Probably start it like right there. Just get on in there. Don't want it to actually go all the way up, so let's do that. A little bit of realism here if it's not banging right up against the wall. I think it'd probably be a little bit skinnier too. Cool. Set origin to geometry, scale. I'm going to do that up here too. Okay, let's make some legs. Add a cube. Scale that boy down. Bring it down. GZ. GY. Oops, bird? Oh, G's is GX, rather. GX. Just want to make sure it's lined up with this corner. B. Okay, okay. And then just to make this a little fancy, I'm going to just keep that there, but then I'm going to come down here, inlay, using I on that face, bring this down. Then I'm going to do another, I'm going to stop there, but then I'm going to extrude again, not hit G. And I'm going to bring this out. I'm going to go, which is S to scale it. Not doing anything fancy. Bring that down. Bring this down once again, and S to scale it back in. And even tinier than the first one. And then bring these down like that. That's just like a little bit more interesting. And I'll teach you another technique. What we're going to do is we're going to go into tab into edit mode. I'm going to move this away from the wall so we can actually see what we're doing. Tab into edit mode. Hit 2 to get into edge select mode. Click that. Or click these 4 edges that surround the middle one if you're copying what I'm doing. And we're going to do something called bevel, which is Control B, and then you can start dragging. Now this doesn't look good now, but this window is going to pop up, and that's when it's going to start looking good. And so we're going to add segments. I'm going to say 5. Now it didn't really work great because, as you can see, it's kind of going up the top of the mesh there. So I'm actually going to Control Z and undo that. And instead, I am going to make an edge loop here, and an edge loop here, and right click after each. And then I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt and click this edge, and that will select the entire one. We're going to scale these in, so scale down a bit. And now we're going to bevel these, and that looks nice. I like that. Cool, just a little, just got to have a little fun with it. I didn't even move the table. That's actually perfect. Okay, GY, GX. Okay. Duplicate it, or copy paste rather. Grab them both, Control or Shift click, copy paste, G, Y, get it flush with the table. Let's just join, grab all of them with Shift and hit Control J to join them. Set origin to geometry, apply the scale, save it. And let's actually just, these are tall, bro. Okay, I'm just gonna SZ it, screw it. We're just having fun. Okay. Join it with the table. Origin to geometry, apply your scale, GZ to get it back on the floor. Get it a little bit away from the wall. I'm going to center that above it. So this is also supposed to be, let's do our windows. SY, we're going to do the same process we did for the doors, which is just add a Boolean modifier. Click the eyedropper, undrop that. And then if you hide it, you can chest it, but I'm going to unhide it and just click apply because I know it's going to work. Now we're going to scale this bad boy back in. The window pane, I definitely make a lot smaller than the door pane. Put that like right there. So it's like leaning back because I also want to put, so here I'm just going to call this window just to stay organized. Copy paste, bring it forward, scale it in on the x-axis or whichever way we're going. And bam, we're about to have our window crossbar. So Control V, rotate it along the y-axis 90 degrees. Drag that boy along the x-axis right there. And then we're going to tab in just so we can hit 3 again just to get back into face mode. And just lock it in. Lock it in. And that should be the same scale, so in theory, you won't even need to resize this one. And that looks pretty damn good to me. It looks centered and everything. So that's the benefit of using scale. When you have kind of things where you want it in the right place, it will like keep it all there for you. So I'm just going to save these as window bars. And in fact, I know I'm going to want to do this. So I'm going to add a cube. We're going to make a little windowsill. Scale it down. Put it right there. Bring it up a bit. Bring it back a bit. Tab in, GUI. Go over. GZ, and we'll move the crossbar up. Don't you fret. Grab the sides, GYX, or yeah, GX in this case. I'm hungry. GX in this case. Okay. And I mean, we could leave that, but we're not gonna because we're respectable. Okay, that's just wall 2, and then the windowsill is what I'll label it, so we can find these easily, because I'm going to have to hide that, so I can easily get in here. Just going to lift you up, bring the wall back, and bring the windowsill back. See, this is why we organize, by the way. If you look over here, it's like starting to get crazy. We're not even close to having everything we're going to have. Okay, grab onto this, tab in edit mode, hit 2 to select these edges, and we're going to bevel them. Be careful, like you can hold shift to be a little bit more precise, because you don't want to like over bevel like this, because that just causes weird issues. So something like this. Yeah, and then that looks nice. That looks nice. Oh, and we can scoot this back even. So that'll look even nicer. See, just a little bit of attention to detail will go a long way. Let's do that over here too. Boolean. Click this. I mean, you know the process. I'm just getting it set. Set origin by scale. You know the drill. I'm gonna actually grab this just so we can actually make sure this is at least exactly the same. It doesn't really matter if the glass is exactly the same width, but it'd make me feel better. I'm going to do that. Go GY across. I guess the issue then is I can't. Yeah, I'm just going to do it again. So I'm going to go up, bring it up with the X, S, Y. Use shift to really let me dial this bad boy in. Seems about right. But I think we need 2. Yeah, we do. Okay, set origin to geometry, apply the scale. And we're going to bring this over. This one's going to be kind of an eyeballing affair where we're just going to figure out what looks right. So it could be like 2 smaller sides and 1 big middle side too. That's actually kind of a good idea. And one thing I could do to even make this easier on me is just come over here, bring a cube, and just line it up with this. So, and then 3GY right there. And then just make sure that this gets lined up properly with this side. And so then it's all nice and symbiotic. And then we delete them. Cool, cool, cool. I'm a big fan. Okay, copy, paste, R, X. Hopefully you're picking some stuff up by now. You can just kind of be cooking away at some of this stuff yourself if you have, good ideas from looking at any of this. G, X, oh, Y rather. Copy, paste, GY. Get it back over here. Copy, paste, GY. Right there. Bump. Probably should have put a third one in the middle, but let's see how that looks real fast. So now it's weird, but the way I did it. This is fine. This is just fine. And if we really hate it, we'd redo it. But honestly, at this point, you know what to do. I just want to show you. Okay, so we got the windows done. I'm going to hide our e-girl and e-boy for now because we just don't need them. Our scale's looking pretty good. Let's come over here and mess with this. So I think really what we need is a fridge, a counter, and a sink. And we're going to do that. So I'm actually going to scale this in on the x-axis. GX, pop, pop, copy paste, GX, bring it over, GX, and copy paste GX. And we're not like going to have an oven or anything. They're just going to have a hot plate. And that'll be one of the things we ask, or we model from scratch. But it's actually pretty easy to make a hot plate. And you can make them look pretty good too. Okay, let's see. That could be the fridge. But it's so big. Okay, I'll just make the sink bigger, or the counter bigger, whatever works. Just got to dial it in. I think this is going to be the sink, so it's like, it can probably be a little, it doesn't need that much. the countertop. We want to get in counter space. You know, we're thinking about these kind of things. Would you want to live here? And now that's too small. What am I doing, y'all? Sorry, I'm sorry about this. We are going to get on track. The fridge should also be pushed in a little bit. So let's do like that. And then I will raise it right underneath the windowsill, which is kind of weird. It's a weird setup for a fridge, frankly, but it'll be like a mini fridge. Who cares? As long as we believe in ourselves. I am going to do something here. I'm going to bring this up. SZ. I made a copy and then I brought it up. Bringing this down, so now we're gonna have like a nice like countertop kind of thingy. I'm just gonna grab this. Let's just bevel it all a little bit. So that's gonna be like a nice marble countertop. It'll look really sexy. Okay, cool. And then just to make this match, GZ, bring it up just to be flush. Yeah. Okay. All right, bring this over. Cool. We're going to use the Boolean again, so you can copy and paste that, shrink it down. GZ, bring it up. Probably extend it a little bit. Maybe even scrunch it in, but bring it forward. Kind of probably the move. This whole counter space actually could be pushed back a bit, but yeah, that's probably what we'll do. Let's push this back a bit. SY, I'm doing that because once you apply those bevels, there's no going back on pulling your mesh out. It just becomes a lot trickier, and I can't be bothered. Okay, so we got the Boolean tool. It's a little bit down. I'm going to bring that, or well, what is going to be our Boolean tool, because we're going to go to the modifier, as we have done many times in this tutorial. And you can also just type the object if it's got a name. Okay, got a sync. Call this sync counter. Okay, let's do something with this fridge. Let's figure out what to do. I put some edge loops on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these faces. Yeah, sorry, I had an issue, so I had to kind of cut the recording out. But all I did was the same edge loop process, just one over here and moved it forward, one over here and moved it up. Oh my goodness, these walls. Might just have to get rid of the walls because they're getting in my way. So what I did is I selected these faces, and I'm going to want to select the one on the bottom too. So I'm going to actually get rid of our floor so I can see that. And all I'm doing is shift clicking on them. And what I'm going to do is hit P and separate, and this is going to open the separation material, say separate by selection. So now I can kind of tune this in a little bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab all of it. Something weird happened there. Okay, I'm going to move this forward a bit. I'm going to scale Y in. Cool. Okay, I got to set origin to geometry and apply scale before I do this. Hit A and bevel it a little bit, and that looks pretty nice. You know, I need to find, before we bevel that, see, because it does get a little destructive. Let's make this little inlay. You know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is edge loop it. Bring that down right there, right there. Cool. Go into face select. I'm going to grab these faces. I'm going to hit Alt E, and I'm going to hit extrude faces along normals. And what that does is, like, if I came out this way, they'd go that way. But this way, they're not all going the same direction. They're going along like the way they're, you know, where their face is facing. But I'm actually going to bring it in. And now we've got that nice little line. And now when I bevel, it's going to be a mess in the geometry. I can already see it happening over there. So might have to be a little bit smarter about this and actually just select all the edges, which is okay. I can do that. Let's see. Selecting all these edges. You know, sometimes you got to do things right. If you can do things quick, you absolutely should, but doing things right is better. Because people appreciate attention to detail a lot. Let's see. Cool. Now I'm just going to bevel these edges and hope that doesn't screw the geometry. It didn't. Hooray. All right, cool. Get back over here. I'm going to bevel this bad boy too. Just a teeny bit, just to give it a little bit of distinction between. Yeah, perfect. Okay, let's just do a handle real fast. That's the best way to do this. I got it. Okay, I'm gonna put my 3D cursor there, shift right click to do that. I'm gonna go to curve. Oh no, let's make this easier on everybody. I am going to go to UV sphere. I'm gonna, you know what? No. Shift A, mesh circle. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rotate it along the y-axis, 90 degrees. Doesn't matter if it's positive or 90 or negative in this case. I'm gonna grab this, go into tab, and if you kind of select across like this, I just want to get up until that middle part. Delete these edges. Oh, delete the vertices. Oh, I gotta select one before just so it doesn't be a little annoying. I'm not gonna lie. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna scale it up along the z-axis, and then I'm just gonna scale it down. I'm gonna right-click it, convert to curve, and this gives us this option over here, where what we can do is we can actually come down and I can bevel it in under geometry. So you'll see circle, shape. If you're in this menu, go to shape, geometry, come down to bevel, open it up, make sure it says round, and you can start pumping it up a bit. It's a little finicky, so just start small, like that. I'm gonna go 0.015, see if I like that. I'm also gonna scale it along the x-axis a bit, and then just kind of scale it down in general. Like that's a pretty good looking handle. I mean, it could be a little bigger actually, and then a little scaled inward. Okay, cool. I'm gonna set this origin to geometry. I'm gonna hit apply the scale. I might get a little bigger. We can always come back to this. I'm gonna attach it to the fridge. No, it needs to be bigger. Thick boy. People gotta eat. Okay, GZ, bring it down. I feel like I usually see them kind of like take up like the whole banger. If I'm thinking, I can go look at my fridge right now, or even Google a photo, and I highly recommend doing that. But I'm just not gonna. This looks good to me. This feels right, and sometimes feeling right is all you need. I'm just gonna do that because I know that that's how they do it, where like they're kind of closer. Cool. I'm gonna attach all this stuff together because I'm not touching it. I'm not gonna make it an animation or nothing. So we're gonna make a little cube, scale it down, put it right on top of the fridge. GY to get back. GX. GZ. SX. SY. Just scaling this bad boy down. GX. And it should, oh no, it's not flush, so let's make sure it's flush on there. Period to get in, real nice and close. GY. Boom, and then I'm going to take these two edges, just these two. Gonna bevel them. Oh, you know what? You see how that bevel was weird? That's because we didn't apply the scale. Best practices. Yeah, look how much better that is. Okay, so we'll do it like that. Like, actually, maybe even this one too, but like differently beveled. Like way more beveled. Yeah, that's a logo looking thing if I ever seen one. Cool. I love it. Do you love it? I hope yours looks like this. If not, it's okay. This one is, it just takes time. Oopsie. I want to join all these together and call it, oh, I can't. You know why? These are still curves, so I have to go back, convert to mesh. And now I can join them all. Cool. GY, or VSC, GY. Awesome. Oh, did it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Liking this. I'm liking this. Everything's kind of coming together here. You can see it. That window does feel really high now. Let's take a peek at. Oh yeah, let's make sure that we cut in this sync before we forget. Okay, let me bring the floor back. Let me bring our E-boy and E-girl back. Okay, that could be worse. I mean, if I could do it all over again, and I probably could, I could just move these walls down. Damn, I could just do that. Okay, I'm gonna just do that. Yeah. Yeah. See, we haven't gone that far. Okay, so I'm gonna grab all this stuff, which should be joined, but it is not, so I'll remember to do that next time. Okay, and if, in theory, it just goes down, plays nicely, right? I'm just gonna play nicely, right? Booyah. Okay. Um, oh, that didn't go. Yep, something didn't play nicely, but that's okay. I can move that. Cool. Grab both these walls holding shift. I'm going to go into face select mode and just grab them and just lift them back up. Easy peasy. Going to go down to the bottoms, grab these, and lift them back up. And frankly, no one's ever going to see that, so you don't even have to do that. But I like keeping things clean and nice, and it's just good habits. So, okay, now I feel way better about this. Like, this looks much better. This feels like, yeah, I like to scale. And we're just going to push this forward. It's like they just put their fridge in front of the window. It's like, we deal with it. We do what we can. It's a tiny apartment. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.